Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be of about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, and welcome to Weirdo Wednesday. How's it going, everybody? What's up, Jamie? How you doing?
Hey. Almost got the links put in.
Groovy. Yeah, just having some technical issues. Just literally minutes before the show, I was talking to Jamie, and I found out that my modem could be overheating, which could be causing problems. So I jury-rigged a fan up that's blowing on my modem, literally like 30 seconds before we started the show. And then hit the live button, go live on StreamYard, and what do I get? I get an error message.
You did. Is that when you were talking? When you said?
Yeah. I was like, oh, great. Error messages.
This whole time we've been doing this, I haven't had, my little splitter thing. The intro music sounds really good in the earbuds.
Yeah. Hopefully everything works. Hopefully, that's all I can say. Hopefully it works. I'm not going to go any further than that. Pay $240 a year for StreamYard. So if it starts giving me problems now, I'm going to have a freak out. But anyway, other than that, how's everybody's week been going? No, see, now we got music playing when it's not supposed to.
It sounds kind of like spacey.
Yep. Let's try that one again.
Like the planetarium.
Yep, planetarium music.
The planetarium. South Park. Been
watching Ancient Aliens, and when Crazy Hair George comes on there, it still freaks me out the way he says extraterrestrial. I can't even say it now. He says extraterrestrial. Like what? Extraterrestrial? Extra testicle? What?
An extra testicle.
Yeah, you guys have been getting it hot out there. You, Zach, everybody out there on the West Coast. Man, I thought it was hot in Florida, but you guys have been getting toe up with the temperatures, huh?
We've had a few days where it's cooled down for 2.5, but this weekend it's going to get up there again. So I haven't had to go out there and crazily wet the cats down every 25 minutes.
Yeah. You ever clean the fan Freedom Bird wants to know. Yeah, well, it's a brand new modem, so it shouldn't be that dirty yet. But there again,
Your air and stuff.
yeah, I guess I probably ought to pull the cap off of it and look. But
I'd
yeah,
be surprised.
it's pretty much a brand new modem that I just got recently. But who knows? Could be I looked it up, and I'm like, what in the F is going on with my internet? And I was telling Jamie, I ran every possible thing I could run on my computer to clean it, do this, do that. And my computer supposedly is running top shape, And then I was like, well, damn it. And I started looking up the modem. And yeah, just like my car, which is broken down, apparently I bought a modem that has overheating issues. So there's that. It's been my month of shit breaking down. Everything goes great. Everything goes great for a while. It's like, wow, man, I can't complain. And then here comes Murphy and his shit wagon of problems. And just like they all hit at once.
Always hits you in threes.
Yeah. We didn't have a show last week because of internet and storm. It's been storming here, and my power's been going on and off like crazy and all. But yeah, my car broke down. My little Kia Soul coming back from Jacksonville about 2 weeks ago, and it was like running great. We were just talking about, oh man, I love this car. I think I'm going to go get a new one. And my car just took a shit. Just side of the road, just died. Needs a new motor. Again, it's a problem, known problem with Kia Motors. So I have 240 miles left on my 100,000 mile warranty. So been waiting 2 weeks for the inspector from Kia to come out and look at it.
You know what they're doing with that.
Oh yeah, they're fully jerking me around.
They're stretching that out as long as they can.
Yeah, and my extended warranty expires in like 8 days. So I got a letter in the mail. You should renew your warranty. And I'm like, well, you should tell me if you're going to fix my fucking car first, because if so, I'll be glad to extend the warranty. If not,
they can't prorate it back either, can they? Saying like the date of when you put the claim in, and then they stall till your stuff expires. Can they prorate that? They're just going to say no.
They should. I mean, my claim, there's a claim. Everything's been made like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not going to give them any more money if they're just going to tell me no. The fuck's my warranty going to cover? What am I paying for? If you're not going to, fix a car that I still owe $4,000 on. So that's how my life's been going. But other than that, I can't complain. Still waiting for him to fix the Sorrento, huh? Yeah, another Kia. See, I was seriously thinking about getting another one. Literally 2 days before this happened, I'm like, I wonder what they do, like a trade-in, and we get a new one and the payments would be the same. Hey, this has been a great car. Yeah, kind of having second thoughts on that. Even the 2021s have a recall on them.
That's crazy.
They're the brand new ones, yeah.
Well, you could be this guy, a New Mexico mayor candidate that was punched and interrupted by a sex toy on a drone at an event.
Punched with a sex toy.
A New Mexico sheriff running for mayor of Albuquerque was interrupted by two unlikely distractions while on stage at a campaign event Tuesday evening, as a drone with a sex toy attached flew overhead and a man punched him. So I'm assuming he looked up at the dick and then someone probably took a cheap shot. The candidate and members of his campaign issued a statement saying he was unharmed and will not be intimidated. A video uploaded to social media reportedly shows Gonzalez answering questions from an audience while standing on stage at a venue when the drone carrying a sex toy starts flying near the stage. According to a sheriff's office report, the owner of the venue grabbed the drone, and an audience member, 20-year-old Kaylin, unsuccessfully attempted to grab the flying device. Slipped right out of his hands. He then reportedly came at Gonzalez, swinging his fist and calling him a tyrant. Deputy reportedly wrote that Dreyer punched the sheriff's hands and then was escorted away by deputies. He addressed it at a Wednesday conference, said he believed Dreyer was with several companions and witnessed someone standing on the other side of a fence, adding that he believed that the person was piloting the drone. The sheriff also addressed the incident in a video statement, calling the event a huge success despite the efforts of a few troublemakers.
Was it just a non-motorized sex toy, or was it like actually going
like spinning around? I don't know. I didn't see an actual video of it. I wanted to crop a video of that, like a unicorn flying around.
Yeah. Wow. Punched in the head by a remote flown dildo.
Well, I think the dildo was a distraction.
Yeah. Lord of mercy. What's next? Let's see. What is next? Wow, you think I hadn't done this in like a long time. This one is something I just saw on the news actually yesterday. And since it was somewhat kind of local, all my other stories aren't local. But this one sort of kind of is. And come on, share screen. Help a brother out. Why don't you work once they work? UNF archaeology team finds a lost indigenous settlement on Talbot Island, which Talbot Island isn't too far from here. Neither is UNF. It's in Jacksonville. I'm in St. Augustine. Nice visual, exactly, Lori. Boing, right upside the head. All right. It says University of North Florida archaeology team is confident they have located the lost indigenous Northeast Florida community of Sarabay, a settlement mentioned in both French and Spanish documents during the 1560s, but not located until now. The type and amounts of indigenous pottery the team is finding, combined with the type and dates for European artifacts, as well as cartographic map evidence, strongly supports this location as a late 16th, early 17th century Mocama settlement. The researchers have opened large excavation blocks, which you can see in the pictures there, with many exciting new artifact finds, and are currently searching for evidence of houses and public architecture. The students, led by Dr. Keith Ashley, UNF Archaeology Lab Director and Assistant Professor, have recently recovered more than 50 pieces of early Spanish pottery, as well as indigenous pottery that dates back to the 1500s or early 1600s. They have also recovered bone, stone, and shell artifacts, as well as buried corncob fragments. Wonder what they're using those corncobs for back in the day. Anyways, it goes on, talks a little bit more about it, but it's pretty cool. You know, I used to find all kinds of Indian artifacts and stuff in my yard, just like outside the house in the yard. I could go out at any given time and dig up arrowheads, marbles, clay pottery, all kinds of stuff. So I've always kind of been intrigued with this kind of thing, and pretty cool if this actually is a settlement from the 1500s. That's pretty damn old for, American standards. I always talk to my European friends and they're like, oh, your fort's 400 years old, huh? Ours is 1400 years old. Yeah, and I used to live right across the street kind of from the Fountain of Youth, so they were always digging up stuff over there too, and still are, actually. Exactly, Zach, corn cobs. What did they use those for? Numerous things. So what do you got next?
I think I was out of order. It's a Christmas dude.
Christmas dude.
Propped the body. Okay. A man who killed his wife propped up the body while kids opened presents.
That's
Gets
just
15
like
years to life.
right out of the gate. That's just like,
So Norman Beatty, huh?
yes.
And you get the kids involved.
Yeah.
A California man who killed his wife and then propped up her body on a sofa as her children opened Christmas presents has been sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. That sounds like BS to me. Dock worker William Wallace, 39, killed 26-year-old mom of three, Zazelle Preston, after a Christmas Eve party in Anaheim in 2011, then dragged her body from the bedroom to the living room couch the next day. He put sunglasses. Oh, this is like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what I was thinking.
He put sunglasses on her and told the children to open their presents. His trial heard telling them, "Mommy ruined Christmas. She got drunk and ruined Christmas." Wallace, who is it's not funny, but shit. Wallace, who had previously served jail time for beating his wife, was sentenced Friday after being convicted earlier this year of second-degree murder. He beat and tortured my daughter and at the same time mentally assassinated her children, Preston's mother told the sentencing hearing. He showed her no mercy. Let's show him no mercy. And that's what, 15 years of life? That means he probably has POP, which means when the jails get full, they're going to let his ass out if he behaves well enough. This guy doesn't need to be walking around. The mother became the guardian of her daughter's three children, a 7-week-old son she had with her killer, as well as daughters ages 3 and 8 from a previous relationship. Zazelle was weeks away from graduating college before her murder. The Christmas killing was just weeks before Preston was due to graduate from college, where she had been studying to become a counselor in the hopes of helping other abuse victims, her trial heard. William Wallace robbed us of her knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, her mother said. And then they go on to say that Zazelle was an amazing and talented young woman until he came along and took her from us forever. Wallace's attorney argued that Preston died from injuries after she drunkenly tripped and fell into a glass table, shattering it. He did not speak at his sentencing, the local paper said. As part of the sentence, Wallace was given credit for the more than 9 years he has already spent behind bars while awaiting trial, the paper said, without elaborating on why the trial was delayed for so long. So, yeah.
You know, devil's advocate or whatever. I mean, if the kid's like the kid in the picture here is pretty young. So maybe, you know, he was just thinking, I'll prop her up so it won't be dramatic for the kids. But it wouldn't have been dramatic if you hadn't killed her ass in the first place. So maybe there was a part of him that was like, yeah, mommy's here for Christmas. She just went out and got drunk and she's passed out right now. But, you know, kids are going to grow up and they're going to find out what dad did to mom. And
I mean,
they're going to remember it and go, ooh.
Or they're going to hear about it and then have like false memories.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So if he did it, okay, if the kids are saying mommy got drunk, that's probably what he said, maybe why she had a hangover on the couch in her sunglasses and wasn't moving. That just mortifies me. I am like so mortified right now. But what if she did get drunk and, I mean, say maybe they fought and he pushed her through the table. I don't know if she had cuts on her. I don't know what the cause of death was, but what if they really came back from a Christmas Eve party and they had too much to drink, got into like one of them fights and something happened?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you had a little bit of history though. So
Oh yeah, huh?
it's probably just a dickhead.
Yeah, I was trying not to go there.
I know.
I always feel like I'm jumping on, you know.
Hey kids, now that you open your presents, let's watch this movie. It's called Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh God, they're probably like, Bobby, can you help me fix this?
Yeah.
Put this together. I want
No.
to post for pictures,
Man.
and that's California.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hope that's not Florida. Wouldn't surprise me if it was, though. But yeah, my sentiments exactly, Zach. People are fucked up. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. So this one, let me get rid of that one and bring up this one. These aren't like local current events. These are just weird things that, I find on the internet. And I just thought I'd share them.
I got one of those too.
This is pretty strange. And, I've seen movies kind of like this. Living statues. Is this a statue? Is this a real person? Is it a living statue? I don't know. Let's see what the article says about it. It's just a random.
Looks like a person.
Yeah. You know how you see those people like, downtown some area, like the Silver Man. We used to have that guy here.
We have them in San Francisco too. A lot of Silvermen.
Well, this is different, but from 1917 to 1928, 500,000 people were afflicted with a ghastly condition that could be part of the plot line of a horror film. I was looking at that word going, what is that? The victims, very much alive and conscious, found themselves inexplicably in frozen states, their static bodies prisons for their minds. Encephalitis lethargica, EL, aka the sleeping sickness, first appeared in Europe and quickly spread around the world, reaching epidemic levels in North America, Europe, and India about 1919. About a third of those stricken with this illness died. Of the survivors, nearly half eventually found themselves unable to physically interact with the world around them, all the while fully aware of their surroundings. Man, talk about, like my problems are nothing compared to like somebody that had this. Though occasionally capable of limited speech, eye motion, and even laughter, they generally appeared as living statues, totally motionless for hours, days, weeks, or even years. The cause is unknown, but one theory is brain inflammation triggered by the rare strain of Streptococcus, the bacteria responsible for many sore throats each year. Science's best guess is that this bacteria mutated, I was going to say it mutilated, mutated, provoking the immune system to attack the brain, leaving the victim helpless. None of this explains why the illness disappeared only to resurface sporadically, be it in Europe in the 1950s or in China 10 years ago when a 12-year-old girl was hospitalized for 5 weeks with this disease. As such occurrences, the new normal, they are signs that EL could be planning something bigger any day. Great. New pandemic. As a 2004 analysis of 20 patients with the symptoms remarkably similar to EL concluded that whatever ailed them is still prevalent. As such, history's so-called sleeping sickness remains the stuff of nightmares. So yeah, it's like the 10-man in your downtown area that's like, busking for change is actually really like stuck there and like can't smile when you give them a quarter.
Kind of like Buckingham.
Yeah, man, that would suck. Yeah, you think you have problems and then you think, well, shit, I could have this sleeping sickness disease and I could just be stuck in my body and mentally know everything that's going on, but you can't respond to any of it. That would suck. Be like, give me a gun, please. Oh, man. Yeah, Silverman gets around.
Yeah, he does. So, speaking of weird things on the internet,
Yeah.
I always kind of get a little kick out of these fashion fads. As some of you guys know, I post on my profile when I come across them, like when they had the glitter bathing suits and the falsy toenails, whatever it is. Oh, the guy with the oil pumped into his body. Well,
Yeah.
this is a new fashion trend that I really don't know where it came from. And who really wants it? But own the aesthetic without the discomfort. The jeans. Wet pants denim delivers the appearance of authentic urinary incontinence without the commonly experienced discomfort. Wet look, dry feel. And so they give a bunch of pictures of these different pants. I don't have much on it except how to order every pair is individually prepared by hand, ensuring the utmost attention to detail and enabling a fully custom design of the splash pattern. They've also got hats. I don't know what they do to the hats. It just says love the brand but hate the product. This is for you. Available in multiple colors with an adjustable fit. There's clearly a wet pants movement. Celebrities, influencers, and everyday individuals alike are fiending incontinence in search of the wet pants look. Here at Wet Pants Denim, we're developing an identical style without the need to feel uncomfortable. Our jeans are individually procured for each order and hand dyed, ensuring that every pair is one of a kind. We also make hats. Jeans that look like you've peed your pants are the new trend, but why? And then there's people, that just don't get it either. But yeah, so
Zach, why would you pay good money for pants when you just piss in them yourself?
I know I've got perfectly good pee. I could just, maybe it's the pattern. Maybe I couldn't pee in the right pattern to be aesthetically pleasing.
I swear to God, our society is getting dumbed down every day. It gets worse and worse.
And I'm sorry, this white pair that we've got up, they need to go to a doctor.
Yeah, something's wrong there.
There's definitely something wrong with that bladder.
Oh, man. Hey, man, want to go to the mall? I'm looking for a new pair of piss pants. We can stop and get some Tide Pods and unlimited amount of more dumbass stuff you can do nowadays. Pee pants. Oh man, the picture won't go away. It keeps popping up.
Do you have another one?
Yep.
Okay.
This little lad right here is another one of those weird things. You can tell by the picture. This is an old one, and you may have heard of this story before. What really happened to young Walter Collins? In 2008, Clint Eastwood's film The Changeling reawakened interest in one of the most bizarre and tragic crime stories of the 1920s. Single mom Christine Collins reported her 9-year-old son Walter missing in March of 1928 from their home in Los Angeles. California, wasn't Florida. 5 months later, the police brought Walter back to Christine. Except it wasn't Walter, and Christine knew it. But the LA police dismissed Christine's concerns, going as far to accuse her of terrible mothering and having her committed to a mental hospital. The real Walter Collins was never found, and over time, authorities came to believe that he was one of the victims of convicted child murderer Gordon Stewart Northcutt, although Northcutt's mother offered a confession for killing Walter. Whatever happened to Walter Collins, his body was never found, and no one ever learned what really happened to him, nor has it been established with any certainty why the police were so invested in covering up the boy's disappearance that they brought a different child back to Christine and tried to convince her and the rest of the world that it was Walter. Like, your kid, and your kid disappears. That's horrific in itself. And then they bring you another kid back that might look kind of like your kid, but you know it's not your kid.
That's like when your goldfish dies and then you go and get another goldfish that looks alike.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of a story. One of my roommates, not a roommate, he was one of my neighbors, lived upstairs, and his girlfriend had a rabbit, and my friend raised pit bulls, and every day this dog would just sit under the rabbit cage trying to figure a way to get this rabbit. One day I come home, he's pacing. He's like, dude, you know where I can get another rabbit? And I'm like, dude, that's not going to work. He's like, no, I think I can pull it off. I'm like, she's going to know. She's going to know that's not her rabbit. Well, same thing with this. Mom's going to know that's not her kid. The kid came out of her. She's going to know if it's her kid or not. But yeah, it is kind of a mystery why the police were like, no, it's Walter. You're confused. And they covered something happened. Obviously. Still a mystery, though, to this day. Yeah, I saw that movie a while back. It was pretty cool. And that's when I saw this story. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, it was a movie?
Yeah, The Changeling is what it's called.
It kind of sounds familiar. Okay, so another California. Los Angeles jury finds a chef guilty of killing his wife and then boiling her body.
Well, then.
A chef who told police he boiled his wife's body for 4 days to hide evidence of her death was convicted Thursday of second-degree murder. David Vanes showed no reaction as the verdict was read. The sister of his victim burst out sobbing. In a recorded interrogation presented by prosecutors during the trial, Vanes, 49, can be heard saying he cooked the body of his 39-year-old wife, Dawn Vanes, in late 2009 until little was left but her skull. He treated her like a piece of meat and got rid of her, said Karen Patterson, the couple's best friend, who spoke to reporters outside of court. She was the key witness in Vane's trial and the person who prodded police to investigate her friend's disappearance. At a news conference, she cheerfully warned others to take heed of domestic violence among friends and call police. She apologized for failing to call 911 when Dawn Vanes called her during an incident of abuse, but begged her not to call the police. Maybe you have to go beyond your friend's trust and try to save lives, she said. Juror Tal said it was Vane's own words and 2 confessions that convinced them of his guilt. The chef spoke to authorities from a hospital bed in March 2011 after leaping off an 80-foot cliff in Rancho Palos Verdes. Authorities say he jumped after learning he was a suspect in her disappearance. The trial relied heavily on recorded interviews with authorities in which the chef acknowledged the crime in detail. I just slowly cooked it, and I ended up cooking her in 4 days, Vanes could be heard saying on the recording. Vanes, who attended his trial in a wheelchair, said in the interview that he stuffed his wife's body in a 55-gallon drum of boiling water and kept it submerged with weights. He said he mixed what remained after 4 days with other waste, dumping some of it in a grease pit at his restaurant in Lomita and putting the rest in the trash. He said he stashed his wife's skull in his mother's attic in Torrance, but a search of the house turned up nothing, nor did an excavation of the restaurant. Erickson told reporters the gruesome evidence shocked jurors. A few of us had a hard time sleeping at night, he said. I would think about it and just ask why. If there was any question about the guilt of Vanes, it was wiped out by his plunge off the cliff, Erickson said. My opinion was if he was innocent, he wouldn't jump off a cliff, the jurors said. On the recording played in court, Vanes was asked what happened on October 18, 2009, the night his wife disappeared. He said he had noticed money missing in his restaurant and suspected his wife. They got into an argument, and he forced her onto the floor where he wrapped her up and put a piece of duct tape over her mouth before going to bed. He awoke to find her dead and panicked, he said. Vaines was charged with first-degree murder, which means the killing was premeditated, but jurors had the option of convicting him of that or second-degree murder or manslaughter. The 6 men and 6 women on the panel deliberated for about 5 hours before reaching the verdict. Erickson said the jury did not believe the killing was premeditated, even though Vaines had threatened to kill his wife after finding money missing. Anyone can say that and not follow through, the jurors said. So then they go on. He could be sentenced November 27, facing 15 years to life in prison. What the hell is up with these light sentences for these gruesome acts?
Yep.
What? So they go on talking about, the families and everything, but seriously.
Yeah, you can get more jail time for
For pot.
selling weed, Oh, man. I didn't hear it mentioned in there, and this is just the way my brain works, but this guy kills her, then boils her body like a piece of meat.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
He did.
And he's a chef.
He did.
And he owns a restaurant. Just saying.
I already thought the best friend probably ate some.
Yeah, man. How many people ate some of that?
Yeah.
I've seen how that movie goes,
Jason did a story on World Wide Web of almost something similar. Maybe this was the story and this is just the sentence, like the trial coming up, because it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a chef and you're a killer, you're a psycho, you're a killer. If you're going to boil a body, you're not going to have any qualms about serving it in the restaurant for.
Well, no, especially if money's missing, he gets to make that money up somehow.
Exactly. We don't got to buy meat for the.
I'm gonna get this money out your ass one way or another.
Exactly. Sweeney Todd pies is the special.
Ew. What?
Yeah, Sweeney Todd. Zariana got that one. You never saw that movie? The old, what was he, a barber? He'd whack the people and then they go downstairs and turn them into pies. Yeah, I didn't see it listed. I'm not saying that's what happened. But if I was a gambling man, I mean, how else is he going to get rid of that cooked meat of his wife? Might as well take it to the restaurant, serve it up to people, watch them eat it. Man, people are screwed up in the head. Like everyday problems. Oh, you got to wear a mask or not. I mean, there's some people that you got to deal with this kind of shit. Makes our problems like, that's what we're here for, to bring you the reality of the real world. Our mask and this and that is just an illusion compared to what really goes on in the world.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, here's another one of those old stories that I know probably most of y'all have heard about. And there's been several movies involving this kind of thing as well. This exact thing in a few movies. I can't think of the name of it. But where did my article go? The Lost Colony of Roanoke. I know everybody's heard of this one before. But I used to go up to Cape Hatteras like every year. I went up there to help run the Eastern Surfing Association's like national event up there. I was an ESA director for, 13 years or something like that. And so I'd always go up to Cape Hatteras, and Roanoke isn't very far away. And I actually went over to that island a couple of times. And this is the story of the Lost Colony of Roanoke. 1587, John White led a group of people from Britain to found an English colony settling on Roanoke Island, one of a chain of barrier islands now known as the Outer Banks of North Carolina. White left for more supplies, but on his return 3 years later, found the whole colony meticulously abandoned, with all the houses and fortifications dismantled with care. Before he'd left the colony, White had instructed the colonists that if they were taken by force, they were to carve a cross into a nearby tree. which there was no cross anywhere. The only clue was the word Croatian, the name of a native tribe allied with the English, which was carved into a post. White took this to mean that the colonists had moved to Croatan, an island now known as Hatteras. Ensuing the investigations turned up claims that the colonists had been slaughtered by the Powhatan tribe. There is no archaeological evidence of this, and the recent re-examination of the primary sources indicates that any massacre that occurred was not on this particular group of colonists, but rather a group of colonists who had arrived earlier. More enduring theories involved integration between the colonists and the Croatans or other local tribes. But so far, no DNA evidence has positively been identified of any descendants of the colony. Jeez, man, my lips aren't working. Rented lips. Scientists are still baffled and cannot explain the missing colony of Roanoke. Still to this day, it's still a mystery. Yeah, it was one of those things when I was always hanging out up that way. I ended up actually going to the island, and I'm just thinking, walking around like, what really happened here?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll never know. Chances are I'll never know. Nobody will ever know. Who knows?
So I think this next one was the explosive diarrhea.
Oh,
NBC's Ultimate Slip and Slide series halted after explosive diarrhea reported on set. It looks like the ultimate slip and slide is slip and sliding away into temporary limbo. On Friday, The Wrap reported that the production of the upcoming NBC Universal reality series had been indefinitely suspended following an on-set outbreak of Giardia, a microscopic parasite that can cause diarrheal disease if swallowed. The health and safety of everyone on our set is our number one priority. So out of an abundance of caution, we've made this decision to stop production of Ultimate Slip and Slide at the current location. A spokesperson for Universal Television Alternative Studios told Yahoo Entertainment in a statement, "We are in the process of determining next steps in order to complete production. Originally scheduled to premiere on NBC on Sunday, August 8th, immediately following the Summer Olympics. Ultimate Slip and Slide features teams of contestants competing in a variety of challenges in a water park filled with rides based on the backyard game from Whammo. According to an NBC press release, the series takes the spirit of the classic backyard slide and funnels it into games like human pong, body bowling, cornhole, bocce fall, accumulating the Big Slipper, described as a colossal multi-part slide meant only for the bravest and boldest players. Production of the series originally paused on June 2nd when the studio was made aware that a crew member had tested positive for
Giardia.
as many as 40 crew members were ultimately affected by the parasite, leaving people collapsing on set due to awful explosive diarrhea and being forced to run to the porta potties. Working with LA and Ventura County health departments, NBC Universal employed a third-party environmental lab to run tests on the location's water source and determined it was negative for that parasite. However, adding testing conducted on June 10 turned up positive tests in the surrounding area. As a result, Ultimate Slip and Slide will find a new site to complete its final week of production. The series was originally scheduled to wrap on June 11. While Giardia is no laughing matter for the affected crew members, the news definitely kept Twitter in stitches. Ultimate Slip and Slide hosts Ron and Bobby Moynihan, oh no, traded gags about it. About the gag-worthy news online. So, yeah.
The ultimate slip and slide.
Mm. filled with explosive diarrhea.
Hey, we don't need an extra hose. We got explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
Welcome to Browntown. Who can get to the bottom the quickest? Wow. I can see it happening. I'm sure there's several of us have been in the public pool, and all of a sudden there's a big brown cloud in the public pool and everybody's like, ah!
That really hasn't happened to me.
Really?
No, I have had an ex-husband that had a problem making it to the creek by the morning, where you would see various clothes articles being ripped off all the way down to the trail of the creek, and some evidence of stuff around. But no, I've never been in a pool and seen it turn brown.
Yeah.
No baby Ruths. No
baby.
Nothing but piss.
Not a problem. Yeah. I had a story. It wasn't like slip and slide, but it was kind of it.
I hate talking behind the pictures, though.
Yeah, it definitely involved explosive diarrhea.
Wait,
What?
You?
Me? Yeah, me personally. Yeah, it was one of my trips to Costa Rica. The one I think I told them.
The canteen. You drank the mystery
Yeah.
canteen.
I drank mystery water out of the canteen in the back of the car, and let me just tell you, that wasn't a good idea. It was not fun at all. I thought I was gonna die. Woke up at 4 or 5 in the morning, sleeping on the floor in this little cabina, and woke up and I'm like, oh man, I'm awake. And then it was that noise that you hear and you feel in your stomach when it goes
bubble guts.
Yes. And man, I went to get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. I'm in this tiny little cabin with 5 other people. I'm like, this is not going to be good.
They didn't drink the water
for them or for me. And my buddy was like, there's no water. Like, what do you mean there's no water? They turn the water off at night. So yeah. So I go outside and I'm like, well, I'll just go down to the ocean. Well, that involved climbing down a cliff to get to the ocean. And I couldn't make it there. So I'm out in the woods, leaned up against a tree. The sun's coming up. I'm puking and shitting at the same time. There's spiders crawling all over me. I was praying for death. By the time the sun came up, I'd finally made it down to the water. In Costa Rica, these beautiful tidal pools with all these rocks and stuff everywhere.
No.
There's me naked in the tidal pool, just laying there washing the shit out of my pants. And everywhere else, because I was covered in explosive diarrhea and barf.
The poor tide pools. The fish probably like the barf, though.
Yeah, and then I look up on the cliff, and there's my buddy, who is a professional photographer, by the way.
No.
Big long lens, just zoned right in on me. I'm like, hey, bastard.
Does that picture still exist?
It's around somewhere. Yep. Yeah, man, I was sick. I didn't care. I was like, I got professional photographer. I'm laying down here in this tidal pool, butt naked.
I can't get any lower than this.
Yeah, I'm like, it can't go any worse. The next level is death. So do what you're gonna do. Take my picture. I don't care. and then on top of it, I got to climb my sick.
I was just gonna say you have to climb back up.
Yeah, man, it was not a fun experience whatsoever. I wouldn't recommend drinking mystery canteen.
Well, you know what? That's something I wouldn't do. If I was anywhere and seen a mystery anything, I can guarantee I'm not ingesting it in my body.
I thought it was one of my friends, canteens, and then after I drank it, it was hot. After I drank it, I'm like, hey, I drank somebody's water, and everybody's like, not mine. That's not mine. It's not mine. Yeah. And then about, I don't know, 2 hours later, my stomach was going, it's not mine either.
Oh no.
Yeah. We don't want it anymore. We're going to give it back to you. Yeah. Dysentery, I think is what
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to think of. Dysentery. You got the bad one.
Man, yeah. It was not a good one. Not a good one at all.
I got the, what is it, Montezuma's Revenge or
Yep.
whatever in Mexico. And I used to know I did fine up until I got way too drunk at some, papas and beer, and came back, and you like throw up and you take the water and you're like, just trying to like wet your tongue with it.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm saying, someone's forcing a Snickers bar down my throat, like down this other area. We start going upstairs, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no. That, like a pile driver, someone had my feet while someone else had me by the head, carrying me a long ways through like the top of the hotel, get me to the bathroom. I'm just like, peanut, a full peanut from the Snickers shot out of my nose. I didn't even chew that thing. Full peanut.
Oh man. Yeah, it's amazing what the body can do to you when it wants to reject something. It's like coming out of everywhere, and there ain't a damn thing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
It's just like put the seatbelt on and go along for the ride.
Just cry and hope it's over soon.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I got one more little one. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this one Jamie showed me, and this is out in her area from, I don't know, this was like a week or two ago. Let's see. Where is it?
Is it my area and it ends in Florida, or was it just my area?
No, it was out in your area altogether. It's the Queen Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Queen Mary. Ship left to sink after 87 years of service as vital work is ignored. Hey, let's just let it sink, right?
We've only been taking money for tours for how long?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't make enough money to get some flex tape and fix the freaking hole in the bottom. Majestic symbol that Britain ruled the waves with grandeur and elegance, RMS Queen Mary sailed out of Southampton and into the history books when it was launched by her namesake Queen Mary, accompanied by King George V in 1934 with her Art Deco staterooms, 2 indoor swimming pools, grand dining room, cocktail bars, grand ballroom, beauty salons, and libraries. The floating palace pampered more than 2.2 million passengers over 3 decades of impeccable service. During the Second World War, it ferried 810,000 troops across the Atlantic. Winston Churchill sailed to America aboard the Queen Mary 3 times during the war and signed the D-Day Declaration from aboard the vessel. The ship has played host to stars including Clark Gable, Fred Astaire, Elizabeth Taylor, Greta Garbo, Bob Hope, and Audrey Hepburn. The Duke and Duchess of Windsor traveled in her staterooms, as did the Queen Mother, and American VIPs including General Dwight Eisenhower, Jacqueline Kennedy. But today, the Grand Dame of the Ocean is on her last sea legs, dangerously decayed. Inspectors warned this week that the Queen Mary could sink within 2 years if it does not undergo more than $16 million in urgent repairs. That's just a fraction of the work needed to restore the fading vessel to her former glory. Maybe they shouldn't just worry about her former glory. Maybe they just worry about it not sinking at this point.
Why hasn't it been maintained through these years? And meanwhile, they're trying to raise the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to sink the Mary and raise the Titanic.
Yeah, it don't make no damn sense.
A lot of people just don't seem to care about history. To me, that breaks my heart. I'm sure to you that you get that same heart-ripping feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been on the Queen Mary. I've seen it a lot. And I would like to go on it now. I probably might not ever get the chance. But, I don't know. It seems like an important, piece of history to, $16 million. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of money. But, I mean, it's the freaking Queen Mary. How many millions of dollars have they earned, charging people to go on this damn thing every day?
if they would have done it like little bits at a time. I haven't been on it either. I've driven past it lots and lots of times. I've been, in San Diego a lot down that way. I've been on the Hornet. I have not gotten to step foot on it. And we were just talking to somebody on Paranormal Soup recently, remember? And he's like, how far are you from the Queen Mary? And maybe we might have a meetup. Well, none of that's going to happen.
Yep.
So anybody that's been able to be on it, investigate it, just visit it, cherish that, because
Yeah. Might not be there much longer.
it's not going to be.
Yeah. Craziness. Yeah. I have a friend that has a story about the Queen Mary. Not like a friend that I hang out, just a friend that I met online. He started emailing or started texting me about paranormal stuff. His name's Liam Lynch. You may have seen him in videos. He's done videos with the Foo Fighters. He's produced all kinds of stuff like that, does his own music stuff. And he has a video that him and his girlfriend, like I say, he's a musician, and him and his girlfriend went on the Queen Mary, and he made a video for one of his songs. You can find it on YouTube. And he was really stoked because he filmed the entire video with an iPhone, which was pretty cool, instead of having all this fancy video equipment. But yeah, they went on the Queen Mary, and he said during making that video, they had all kind of crazy stuff happen to him. He's wearing, his regular clothes and had a leather jacket on. And he said he got scratched. Like he felt something scratch him. Like, his back started burning, and he was kind of like freaking out. And he took his coat off, and pulled his shirt up, and
Through the leather?
yeah. And no marks on his clothes or anything, but he had this big long scratch on his back. And yeah, he said they had some really strange occurrences on the Queen Mary while they were making that video. He told me some other stuff, but
I
yeah.
wonder why he got scratched like that.
Yeah. Like Heather said, it's supposed to be one of the most haunted ships. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a cool video. It's just him kind of walking down the aisles of the Queen Mary and all the rooms and everything. But yeah, he said they had some really strange stuff happening.
But to get a full-on scratch like that, they didn't like something.
Yeah, something wasn't kosher with whoever was there, whatever was there.
Oops, I opened it. Okay. Well, this person was lucky. A Massachusetts man momentarily swallowed by a whale.
Oh, gotta hate when that happens.
A Massachusetts man was diving for lobsters when a humpback whale swam up and sucked him in, only to spit him back out 40 terrifying seconds later. One moment he was swimming off the coast of Cape Cod searching for lobsters. The next, he was in the dark, wondering if a shark had attacked him. Once Packard realized he wasn't in any pain, it dawned on him he was actually inside the mouth of a large sea creature.
Wow.
Packard had just enough time to see his life flash before his eyes before the whale decided he wasn't tasty enough to devour and spat him back out into the ocean. I was in the closed mouth for about 30 or 40 seconds before he rose to the surface and spit me out. At least you spit him out at the surface.
Yeah.
In that brief moment, Packard's thoughts flashed to his kids as he felt the whale squeezing its mouth muscles tight. Miraculously, Packard came out of the situation with nothing more than a few bruises and one whale of a tale to tell.
Moby Dick.
Yeah, and there's them giving the thumbs up.
Yeah. When I read that, I was wondering, whales don't typically eat people,
Mm-hmm.
May it just, whales are pretty damn big. When they open their mouth, they're going to suck a lot in. Maybe you got sucked in by accident.
And that's what they do when they see the school of fish. It's like a big dump truck where they...
Yeah. They're like, oh, human. spit them out. But yeah, at least he spit them out at the surface and it wasn't like 100 feet underwater.
Can you imagine all of a sudden you're like, dude, I'm in a large sea creature.
Yeah,
Like,
wow.
what?
Exactly.
I'm thinking, man, I wish you had a GoPro on.
Yeah. There again, makes our problems seem pretty, futile, whatever. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, his was more of a fun story.
Yeah. But I'm sure there was panic ensuing.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got PTSD and if he'll ever go lobster diving again and what happened to all of his lobsters.
Speaking of explosive diarrhea, he probably shit himself.
Yeah, that could be what made the whale spit him out.
Could be. Oh, man.
Like he inked him.
Yep. He inked him. Oh, man. Well, that wrapped up my weird stories. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah, that would be panic. I love the ocean, and I've been out, I'll go out on the paddleboard, and like you can paddle right up to like manatees and, pet them and touch them and stuff, which you're not supposed to. That's federally illegal. So I was reprimanded by the FWC guy. But yeah, I used to do some paddleboard tours and stuff and take people out there, and they're like, how close can we get to them? I'm like, oh, we can get close. We can get too close. They're not shy. Yeah, and the porpoises would come up like literally like on both sides of you, like 5 feet.
Aww.
And it's cool. Yeah, I mean, they're cool, but I mean, when you see them, you're like, damn, those things are, especially the manatees, they're like, holy crap, those things are huge. And yeah, so I can't imagine a whale. I don't know. I draw the line. I'm not going to swim up to a whale.
No.
I would probably shit myself before I got swallowed by the whale.
So, Monterey snorkeling and stuff around there, we'd see some stuff, and you'd be down there and see the otters and some dolphins a little further out. Things like that.
Yeah, the weird manatee story that I'll share real quick. I'll try to make it quick is I was down at Sebastian Inlet. I used to go down there to go fishing, and I would go snook fishing, and I would get to the inlet like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm out on the rocks, fishing, and there's a little lagoon area there just inside the inlet, and I could hear the splashing, like before the sun came up. It's pitch dark, and I could hear the splashing, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Can't see anything. The sun starts coming up, and I see this splashing over in the back corner of the lagoon. So what do? I'm like, oh, I got to go check this out. So as I'm walking around one side of the lagoon, another couple's walking around the other side. It's me and my girlfriend at the time, and this other couple, and we're coming around both sides of the lagoon back to the back corner. As what it turned out to be was a manatee, big, huge manatee, and it was like up in so shallow of water that it got stuck.
Aww.
And luckily the tide was coming in, and so I'm like, well, what do we do? Who do
try to dig them out?
Yeah, we could call somebody, but how long is it going to be? So yeah, we just took matters in our own hands and started doing exactly that, kind of digging in front of them,
like trying to get a boat out.
Yeah.
When the tide comes in.
Yeah. I mean, this thing was huge. We tried to move it. I mean, I don't know how much it weighed, but it was a bunch. But we actually dug it out and kept pushing it. Some other people ended up coming over and helping. We actually got the thing pushed out to where it could sort of, it was like sort of floating, but sort of still kind of stuck. But we were able to push it out to the deeper water. And there was other manatees like hanging out watching us. And this thing's huge. And I'm like, I don't know what this thing, one smack of the tail could like break me in half.
Was he making noises?
Oh yeah. He was making noises, and his tail kept like whack hitting the water. And but I just had the feeling that he knew we were trying to help him.
Yeah.
All the other manatees were out in the water with their heads popped up watching
Aww.
it. And we got him out, and he swam out to all his buddies, and he came back and like popped his head up and looked at us, and like smacked his tail, and they all went. It was almost like he was thanking us. It was
I'm
it was
gonna
one of those
cry.
yeah, it was one of those cool nature moments that I'll like never forget. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was pretty awesome.
Oh,
So I felt
because
like
they are so
good.
smart, and the friends were scared for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I left. I didn't catch any damn fish,
That's okay.
but I saved this big, huge, lumpy manatee.
And you made a sea
No.
creature friend.
Yep. Yep. So hopefully I left felt feeling like I had done a good nature deed for the day, for the year.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool feeling. And we did it all without calling, FWC or Coast Guard or anybody. We were all talking like, what do we do? Who do we call? And everybody just all at once was like, screw it, we'll just do it ourselves right now. This thing's gonna like croak if we don't get it in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would have survived. The tide was coming in, but it would have been a long time. And after that was over, I was like way too damn tired to like go back out on the rocks and go fishing again.
Well, plus they start sinking down into the sand.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't realize how big those things are until you like have your hands on them. I mean, they're huge and very, very strong. But yeah, I've paddled right up to them on the paddleboard. Hell, I've been out there on the paddleboard and they've swam up to me and like come up underneath my paddleboard and knocked me off of it. Yeah, it's kind of scary because you're like in the water with this big thing, but they're just like a big mushy puppy dog.
They're like curious.
Yeah. They don't eat meat, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. I need 30 seconds.
Big funky face with whiskers on it. But yeah, if you're not used to that kind of thing, it can be a little shocking when you're face to face with one in the water. So I don't know. What are we going to do now? We're going to do maybe some ghost boxing, maybe some card reading. Who knows? Oh, there's the creepy music back. Yeah, they kind of do look like a bulldog in the face.
Oh, we got some night.
Yeah, speaking of ghost boxing. No, I didn't see the post about the huge sea turtle yet. I missed that one.
I was just gonna bring up sea turtles too. Like in Hawaii, all of a sudden the big old turtles would come up.
Yeah, I always watch the videos of people, and I've actually done a few of those type of things myself too. Like been out in the ocean and a turtle's come up and had a bunch of like net, like monofilament net and shit all over them, and we actually
Fishing line.
Yeah, we pulled one over to the boat and cut all that stuff off. Those big leatherback sea turtles, man, they're huge. You don't realize how big they are until you got your hands on them, and it's like, holy crap, this thing's ginormous.
It's sad in Hawaii because they all have like tumors on their heads. And it's because of because there's golf courses all around. The fertilizer washes into the ocean and it's causing tumors on the turtles. So all these turtles you see have these big ass, different size like tumors, and it's just so sad because we're doing that to them.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a lot of the times here, being out in the boat and fishing and stuff, like there's none here. There's like a couple water treatment plants here where the water gets, recirculated, cleaned, and it's released back out into the intercoastal. And when it comes out, it's warm. So a lot of times in the winter, the manatees and stuff will be hanging out by that, release pipe or whatever.
Mm.
And you always got to wonder, I mean, yeah, they're hanging out because they're getting the warm water, but it's like that water's been treated with what? Is that good for them? I don't know. And then, like, I've been down south fishing where we would go over by the power plants and stuff, and same thing, you got water coming out of those places. And who knows what the hell's in the water, but it's warm, it's coming out, and there's manatees like everywhere, all hanging out in the warm water. Got to kind of wonder, oh boy, what's in that water? No wonder they're getting.
We get creatures stuck in our things like the pipes, culvert pipes and stuff. There was like, damn, some sea otter seal was stuck in one. Don't even know where, he swam his way up there.
I can see if I can get one of my ghost boxes to work. Yeah, I've had some strange ghost activity around my house lately. This week's been pretty calm. 2 weeks prior to that were pretty freaking weird, I gotta say.
It looks like Lori and Sherry have had some stuff going on a couple of days too. Oh yeah, you've got, I think the last you told was the last one you saw, but I don't think you got to tell what you've seen recently again.
Which one did I talk about and which one didn't I talk
The
about?
the first one at 4 a.m.
Oh, when I looked up and saw the lady standing in my doorway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
And then after that, when it was quiet for a while.
Yeah, another one. I was sitting on the couch talking to you, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jamie was asking me, yeah, have you seen anything recently? And I'm like, no, it's actually been pretty quiet the last day. Oh, shit, I think I just saw something.
No, you messaged me. I was sleeping. It was like 1 something, and you're like, you were in there. And this time, instead of seeing the full on lady, it was like a black shadow in your doorway. It was in the same exact spot.
Yep.
But it was 4 a.m. when everybody was asleep. The house was quiet. Dogs were quiet.
Yep.
So you got so many, you can't even keep track.
Yeah. It happens here a lot. And it's like, honestly, I'm like used to it. And it doesn't really, I don't really even think twice about it. But when I looked up and saw the lady standing in my doorway, I'll fully admit that freaked me out. That was like, holy shit, man. I mean, it legit freaked me out. Like, I had to walk out of the room and like I had to adjust myself because it definitely shocked me. I was like, and did I cleanse yet? No. I know, stupid, right?
No, he meant to, but he had to work on a bunch of stuff started happening.
Yeah, like I say, I'm like used to it, but and it wasn't like it was like I didn't feel threatened by it or anything. It wasn't scary. I mean, it was scary because it scared the shit out of me, but it was, you know what I mean? It wasn't like threatening, like evil, scary, like there's a demon in my house. Even though I did post that song "Spirit in My House" by Joey Ramone today.
I saw that. I pinched the song.
Demons in my head. But yeah, I asked myself, demons in my head. I asked myself, am I crazy? Did I just see what I think I saw?
Darcy saw stuff earlier that day and said, "Hey, I'm seeing people walking around the kitchen."
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. Yeah, like Darcy saw an older, kind of heavy set gentleman, kind of balding, thin hair on the top, balding in the kitchen. And, I was like, well, that's weird. Who the hell is that? And then I remembered, I can't remember who exactly it was. I've been trying to think. It was on Jason's show. And one of the psychics, it was a girl, and she did a remote viewing to my house. And she said, Rob, there's an older balding gentleman with a cigar in your room right now. Is it your dad? And I'm like, hell no, that ain't my dad. My dad wasn't heavy set. My dad definitely wasn't bald. He had like as much hair as I do. And what definitely wasn't my dad. And then it's been what, 2 years ago that happened. And then, just a couple weeks ago, Darcy was like, I just saw an old kind of heavy set bald guy in the kitchen. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, he was just standing in the kitchen watching me. It was kind of weird. And she not, she'll never like say anything. She'll just like come out with, you need to sage the house. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Well, I saw this and I saw this and I saw this. But it was not too long after that. She, just a couple days after that, she told me, she's like, you really need to sage the house. She goes, I've never been creeped out in here before. Ever since we moved in here, I've never had a bad feeling. I've seen all kinds of weird shit, never been intimidated by it until the other night. She's like, I was scared to walk out in the living room in the dark because I felt like something was going to get me. And, you just trust your gut feeling sometimes. You don't have to know why or when or how, but if your gut tells you something, you should listen to it.
And people have different experiences, and entities can cause different feelings in different people. So if like one person, isn't feeling like too threatened by it, another person could be having a different experience entirely.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely do need to cleanse my house. I've been slack and not done it. Any normal person would have been like, hell yeah, John, drop whatever we're doing. We're cleansing the house. But me, I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it.
And then I don't always like to, because like when I've gotten rid of some of my favorite ones by accident before, and then I don't know like where they went and where I sent them, and
Yeah.
then I feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it because I've seen my mom here. I've heard my mom here. I've felt my mom here. So I don't want to like run her out of here.
Or send her, bind her up somewhere.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I haven't done it. Yeah, I had my biological dad. Yeah, he died when I was 4 in 1968. Jeez, I just told you how old I am. And and then my stepdad passed away in 2016, but neither one of them were heavy set balding guys. And my stepdad and Darcy's dad are still in the living room in ash form. So they're hanging out in there. So who knows? I'm sure they probably wander around the house. I know when my mom was getting bad, several times my mom told me that my stepdad, she'd be talking. I'd sit here and listen to her have a full-blown conversation with him, and I'm thinking, is she just imagining this? Or, I mean, it sounded like of course I didn't hear him answering, but she's having a full-blown conversation, like asking questions and getting answers and stuff. And she told me several times, no, he comes in here and sleeps at night with me. I'm like, is that just dementia or is that shit really happening?
I think it was really happening.
Probably. I mean, I've told the story about my grandmother, when my grandfather died, he was 98 and, pretty much bedridden. My grandmother had dementia and she was pretty much bedridden. She would come out of it, like hadn't been up for weeks at a time, a month or whatever. And next thing you know, here comes grandma, like walking through the living room, like normal. But for most of the time, she was in the bed, in the back bedroom. My grandfather was in the front bedroom. he passed away. And, my mom's there and she's like, well, we got to go tell your grandmother, and I'm like, yeah. You want me to come with you? And she's like, yeah. We went in there to tell my grandmother and she knew about it already. She was like, oh, I know. It's okay. He came and sat on the edge of the bed right here and talked to me. So I'm like, how can I not believe in this shit? My grandmother just said my grandfather came in here and showed me where he sat and had a discussion with her, and she already knew that he passed away. There was no way she would have known that. She was in a completely different part of the house. So, yeah, that was another one of those times where I was like, man, there's something to this shit. There's something going on here. This is real.
Should we try what did you have loaded up? I was kind of thinking maybe Miracle Box.
Yeah,
Unless you already have one fired up. Steve Huff's box. We haven't shown that yet. I was gonna actually fire it up on mine also, but wasn't sure if the headphones were gonna work and everything else first. Because I'm thinking, am I still going to use my headphones for that? Or will my little mic still pick up the portal? Probably. You think the earbud mic will pick up the portal?
I don't know. Let's see. It's not working because I don't have all my plugs plugged in the proper plugging. Now we're cooking. Maybe.
Sound like a guitar amp. It is a guitar amp.
It is, actually.
It is a guitar amp.
Why is it not working? This is the question. Should be working.
What is it that's happening?
Nothing. I'm not getting any sound. Let me see if it's working through.
There you go.
I might know what the problem might be. Maybe. Let's try it now. Now we're cooking with something.
Is that reverse?
Nope.
Oh, wait, this is my old phone, so I don't have it on here.
Anybody here with us this evening that would like to talk through the Miracle Box? You guys hear that?
Yeah. Hello, hello. Is there somebody with Rob right now? How many people are with Rob? What are they speaking?
I don't know. Sounds.
Is that English? Are there any messages for anybody in chat? That's really not reverse. She wants to do what, huh?
Yeah, I got none of the pedals on right now at all.
I haven't looked at the app yet. The app doesn't go reverse.
Sounds like it.
Have you played with this one yet?
Not a whole lot. Let me put it in reverse and see if it makes any.
Oh, so you can change the spirit voice. Yeah, it doesn't look like it goes reverse. Oh, yo, okay. Turn down a second. The app has 11 banks, which are all reversed human speech. There are no words, no music, no phrases, nothing programmed in to make you think spirit is speaking to you. This is an advanced yet simple ITC app based on 11 years of research. It will not work for everyone. When using it, you must do so correctly. Connection to spirit. Okay, so pick a voice, press record, ask a question, move the slider to the right for 1 to 3 seconds, then slide it back. You'll soon hear a voice emerge that will either be answering you if you connected or gibberish if you did not. Even if you do not hear a reply in real time, always check the recording as it could have changed. So yeah, it's one of the ones where it's like reversed, and then if we hear something, then you know you got a response. And so then that little slider, I guess it's that spirit voice slider. You pick your voice, and that top voice is what you're supposed to slide.
Yep.
And what, that recorder is like an onboard recorder if you weren't.
Yeah, the recorder. Yeah, you can press record and it will actually record your session right into the app.
Is it like when you record when you use your Apple screen recording, how you can't hear your questions, but you can hear the app, which is good because no spill through or anything comes through?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that. Under settings, yeah, it just says Load file demo. Let's see what I recorded here. Who knows
Like
what come out?
I'm wondering if questions come out. Because that's what sucked the other night when we did that session in front of that haunted house my mom lived in. We got the information, we got like the spurious stuff, but not my questions.
Oh yeah. Lori was hearing stuff without sliding the bar.
Well, yeah, there was stuff. I think it's maybe the same concept of when you pause and then like unpause to ask the question type thing.
Mm-hmm. It sounded like it said something about Huff was there or something. I don't know.
Okay, so slide it down and then say, is there anybody with me? And then slide it back up.
Is there anybody with me right now that wants to talk?
I think that's the way.
Something about notes, maybe?
Were we reading the notes? I always feel like we lose stuff sometimes if you're not wanting to do like those like rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Like that they might come through right in between still.
Did you hear us reading the notes? Did you hear Jamie reading the notes about this miracle box? Do you have a message that you want to tell us? There is not a message. Is that what it said?
There's not something, I think.
Yeah, there's not something. Can you say that again? Do you want to communicate with us?
Is it hard to communicate with this app? This is probably one that we have to play with a little bit each and get tuned, like the 2 week tune into it.
Yeah. Are you still trying to use this app just like we are? Are you learning it right now? Anybody in chat have a question they want me to ask? What's up, Debbie? How's it going? Spirit's got any messages for Debbie that just joined in the chat?
Okay, it almost sounds like I do something message.
A message I do. What's your message? What do you want to get out?
and reverse is not safe. So, box and like this.
So much something. Definitely going to have to go back and listen to the recording of this.
Any messages for Heather in chat? She's listening.
Is there someone speaking Russian?
Hold my hand.
Zuriana wants to know what it's like where you're at, spirits. Yeah, it sounds like German or something. So if this is in reverse, if I put
I already thought about that. It'll probably get the false
yeah, if I turn my reverse on, it should reverse this into where we should be able to understand it, right?
Yeah, really. Okay.
Okay, so I have reverse on the reverse. So it should be forward. So let's see. Can you hear us on your side, spirits?
Try
Did you say try something or did it say try something?
It did.
What should I try? I still can't understand it.
I can't remember the reason why it doesn't work right when you do that. And because they're not actual words, they're still clips.
Yeah, they're actually not words. So
Yeah.
should wash or shouldn't wash. Tried. Sounded like try. Yeah, it did. What should we try?
Hmm.
Wait for it. Is that what it said at the beginning?
I don't know. I thought I heard message in that string before it again.
All right. Tyler says, "Hey, hello, spirits. Could you ask spirits if karma is real? Someone does wrong, something happens. Got pretty mad at work today. People are so rude. Yes, they are. Spirits, can you tell us if karma is a real thing? Does it work the way that we think it does?" I didn't get that.
But Tyler, yes, karma is very real. If somebody did you wrong, you might not be there to see it, but have faith in knowing it will happen.
Yep. Usually don't got to worry about it.
It's a little bit of self-satisfaction. Just be like, you're going to get yours.
Hi.
Oh, Tyler, you saw it in the caption? I wondered if when the ghost box says stuff, if that captioning on Facebook picks it up.
Oh yeah, I got mine turned off, but
It still automatically like comes up on some of.
yeah, that is cool. How like that captioning is like a pain in the ass sometimes, but sometimes when you have the spirit box running and it catches stuff, that's pretty cool.
My name is Mel, so please.
That sounded like something.
It's
Are
hung
there,
up. Go ahead.
are there any spirits with anybody that's in the chat room right now? Can you say their name if you're with them?
Yeah, that's you. And I want to say, Martin.
I keep hearing the name Mark. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anybody else hearing that? Isn't that your roommate's name, Debbie? Hey, don't be saying my name, damn it.
Getting outside, search down this hot, search heaps of flowers.
If there's somebody here with us right now, can you tell us your name?
Nurse. Please, you see, all you help me guys do it. Shoot.
Is the name Mark? Is that any relation to Debbie?
I was just down the girl, you can open up her fat. See it in close. Only not to read that near London and this bombing.
I'm going to switch it over here to a different box real quick. Debbie was asking, or Lori was asking for the dead wave. I know I have it here somewhere. So I thought.
I know. I just told her that we're trying to demo the other people's apps.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell it's at.
Those ones are fun go-to ones, especially for like the voices from beyond and all that. But we got to give some love to the other ones too.
Yeah, I got the Anthony's new one working good. I don't have my laptop in here tonight though.
I still have to put it on mine. I'm scared because of the patch issue.
Yeah, just download the newest one. Just like delete the old one. Just get rid of it and just download the new one. And you shouldn't have to do any patch or anything.
Okay.
delete the old one and download the new one.
I'll do
He
that
may
this week.
He may have to give you a different.
Puts her in out with her wolf.
A wolf?
Something about a foot and a wolf. Yeah, he may have to give you a new, product key or whatever it's called. But
Okay.
yeah, it works pretty good now. And apparently he has some new stuff about to come out.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to play with that.
Yeah, her wolf.
Pretty soon now, hopefully I'll be out doing some more like I used to.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I got that laptop, I'm going to try to maybe do one of the shows like from the lighthouse or something like that.
That'd be cool.
I still remember doing one of my live ones over there. Debbie remembers that one when the cops came up, and I'm like, I'm just going to let it run, see what happens. Like, nothing like doing a ghost session.
JJ Paranormal hopefully will be out doing some investigating again. Now that stuff is kind of opening back up. Because I miss it.
Yeah, I haven't been doing much myself. I mentioned that last week in Jason's show. He was like, "Oh, you're getting all that spirit activity because you do the ghost boxing and ITC and all that." And really, I haven't done much at all.
Not nearly.
Not nearly, yeah. And I mean, I've done a little bit. What little bit that you guys saw on the shows. All right. And other than that, I haven't really done much other than maybe test one out or something. Trying to get, when I was having issues with my laptop, trying to get Anthony's app to cooperate with my laptop. But I really haven't done much. And I wonder if by not doing all the stuff that I normally do, if it's like the reverse,
It does happen. I would get that. And they would start bugging the crap out of me. And I'd be like, all right, you guys need to stop. And then I would set every 2 weeks, one Friday aside, where I lit my candle, turn on the box, and you guys be good all week and don't pester and bug me. When you see that candle lit next to that box, you can just go for it. Say whatever you want. Yep. But sometimes they just want that outlet, especially when they know that you can hear them.
Yeah.
That they want to be able to be heard. And if they're letting you see them and they're doing that, they might have something they want to say.
Yeah.
So that's a very good theory there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, because I haven't been doing it. They're like, hey, pay attention to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're going to show up and we're going to show you ourselves.
Yeah. We're in line. We're waiting. What happened, man?
Don't pay.
I thought we were friends.
Man, come on, dude.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, Debbie, she was actually really cool for a cop. I've only had one incident with a cop that he was just a dick. Just Mr. Authority. Like, I better pack your shit up, get out of here right now, or I'm gonna write you up.
Because you're long, hairy saw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I had one incident where it was it's like the weekend before Halloween, and the lighthouse, before they kind of changed hands and all, they had their own. It wasn't their own. They hired a security guard. And I was with Heather, and we were doing an actual, she had paying customers, and we were doing a investigation in front of the lighthouse. And yeah, this guy came out, and he was just kind of being a jerk, you know. I mean, he knew, you know, she showed him her badge, her permit, all that, you know, she's fully 100% legit, you know, as a tour guide here in St. Augustine. And she showed him all that, and he was still like, get your shit and get out of here. I don't have those ghost people coming around here. And then literally within a minute of him leaving, we could hear him coming down the road in a big truck. They pulled in the lighthouse parking lot, did a bunch of donuts, like shooting rocks and dirt and stuff everywhere, and peeled out of there. And I'm like, where's the freaking cop now? You know, he had to have heard this shit going on. And Heather's like, great, he probably thinks it's us. But yeah, the one that came up that night, she was cool. We had another one that came up. We were actually over near the house where I grew up on Magnolia Avenue, and it was like 3 a.m, and we had a group out there, and the cops pulled up, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a report. You know, there's people hanging out here. What are you guys doing?" And we told them, and the guy was like, he didn't even get out of his car. He just had to. He was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not into that." Like, y'all getting anything? And I was like, yeah, actually, I got this picture, you know, and I pulled it up on my phone. I said, it was that window right there. And I showed it to him. He's like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. He was like, nothing to do with it. He was like, y'all be safe. I'm out of here. He was like, oh, hell no, I ain't getting out of the car.
There's a lot of cops that are skeptics, you know, from being cops. And then, you know, they'll have those experiences and they don't want to talk about it. Because they're like, wait, there's no logical. And then later on, they come out and they're like, you know, I would come across this and that.
Yeah. I mean, I have several friends here in town that are cops, and they've all told me, I mean, it's St. Augustine. Like, everywhere here is haunted.
Yeah, St. Augustine is haunted.
Yeah, it's the whole town. Like, people always, you know, do you think that building's haunted? Yeah. The street you're standing on right now is haunted, you know? I mean, there's probably people buried under your feet right now. The whole town's haunted. And I yeah, like my cop friends, you know, they get weird calls all the time. You know, somebody in an abandoned building, or, you know, in a business. Why is the alarm going off? And they go investigate it, and there's like nobody in there. There's no reason. Why is there weird shit on, you know, the security camera? Why are we hearing noises upstairs? We just came from upstairs. There's nobody there. Why do we hear footsteps walking across the floor right now? You know, and as they can't put that in the paper, you know. But
No.
yeah, Lori, I was doing a live Facebook thing at the lighthouse when the cops showed up. Just sitting out there doing a ghost box. I'm like, oh, here comes the cops. Let's see what they have to say. But yeah, she was cool.
It's always better than the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the police that I've dealt with here, you know, I mean, you know, you're out at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, sitting at the parking lot of the lighthouse. I mean, you look suspicious, you know, especially if you look like me anyways.
But the thing is, if you're cool, they're cool to you.
Yeah.
I mean, we all look a little freaky and they don't know what they're coming up on. But if you just talk to them and you're cool, you don't look all shady and sweaty and weird and suspicious.
Yeah.
They're going to be cool.
And they all ask me, well, are you getting anything? You know, and then I'll be like, yeah. And I start telling them, and they're like, oh, okay, I have fun. We're out here. Yeah.
And then I always wonder, like, when they do have to come back to patrol, if they think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Or like if they then see like other people out there, like, you guys get any? Because then they, you know, start to know what people are doing. And I always wonder, like,
yeah,
if they think about that stuff later.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my cop friends, they tell me, you know, they're one of them, you know, he started out, he's like, I don't believe in that stuff you do, you know, but he's been on calls where, you know, I'll run into him and he'll be like, hey, let me run this by you. The other night, you know, we got a call to go to this house, you know, there was nobody in it. And, but we heard people in it as we were standing in the house. We heard people talking and there was nobody there. And I'm like, yeah, That's what happens.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
that's paranormal.
I'm like, are you still a non-believer? And he's like, dude, how can I not believe? I heard voices in a freaking house. What am I, crazy? I don't understand it. I'm asking you to explain it to me. I'm like, that's how it works, man. You know, I mean, I don't try to, I got a bunch of friends that don't believe in anything like that. And I'm like, hey, it's cool. I mean, I'm always asking myself, did I really hear that? Am I hallucinating? There's got to be an explanation, but there's some stuff you just can't explain. And I'm like, sooner or later, it'll happen to you. If you keep going to the places you're going, you live in this town, sooner or later, it's going to happen.
In life in general.
Yeah.
I have friends, I think it's funny because I keep in touch, like on my Facebook and Instagram, like even though I don't really talk to them, I didn't talk to a lot of them in school because I was kind of that kid that talked to people outside of the school. And I still have them on there, and they remembered me as being kind of, the weird kid in the cemetery playing Ouija boards. Like, we were always cool, but I was the weird kid.
Yeah.
And they didn't believe in what I was doing. And now, as adults, I'll get like certain people, messaging me on like Instagram and stuff. They're like, "Can you take a look at this? And what do you think about that?" And now they're like coming into their spirituality. Now they're like realizing, and I think it's like really cool. But I just think about those times that used to laugh at me going by the graveyard.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I get people they'll send me stuff, hey, can you tell me if you get anything weird from this picture? It's like, it'll be a house, like my one friend got a house, his aunt or something had died, and he like inherited the house and stuff, him and his family. And he was like, yeah, man, I've never got like weird feelings or anything, I don't really, subscribe to all that ghostly stuff, but man, we had some weird shit happen in the house the other day. I took some pictures. Do you see anything in here? Do you pick up any weird vibes from this? And
you almost sounded like Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Any weird vibes from this?
I'll get me. I sell propane and propane accessories.
Walking in my tool shed.
It was weird too. I got a friend. I was looking through my pictures. It's weird how this stuff happens. Looking through my pictures the other day on my phone, and I come across this picture of a friend of mine that used to live here, and it was from one of my gigs over out on the beach, and it was one of the Halloween gigs. And I'm all dressed up, all creepy looking, and she's standing there next to me. I got my arm around her, and she's like all normal, just wearing this little polka dot dress and stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, I haven't talked to this girl in forever. I wonder what she's up to, because she moved from here. And I looked, the last message I had from her was 2013. The very next morning, she messages me. I haven't talked to her or anything since 2013. She messaged me and she was like, hey, I got a question I want to run by you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, wow, this is weird. And I said, you know what? I was looking at pictures and I saw this picture of me and you at this restaurant, from years and years ago. And she's like, yeah, it's weird how that works. If you believe in, retrograde and this and that, it'll make people like reflect and communicate.
Well, that's why I say there's someone you don't ever want to see or hear from, you don't even think about them. Don't even say their name, because the second you do, a piece of mail will come with their name on it. They'll show up somewhere.
Yep.
So if there's anybody I don't want to like come up that I haven't heard from, I just completely avoid it at all costs, because they will show up.
Yeah, it was cool. I had this long conversation with her, and I was like, yeah, it was weird. And I told her about that. I was like, yeah, I was wondering, it's pretty bizarre. Like, very next morning, you text me. It's funny. She was like, she hasn't been here since then. And she was like, yeah, I'm coming back to St. Augustine. I'll be there for a couple months. Is there any like cheap places to rent that, for like a month or two? And I'm like, it's changed a bit since you left town. Cheap rental here? There's no such thing. Good luck with that.
Oh, it's 11:03.
Yep. Time to roll up the sidewalks on this one.
Run to the restroom.
It's cool. We'll be on Paranormal Soup Sunday night. And what's that guy's name? I forget. I'm drawing a blank. It was in my head just a minute ago until I got sidetracked mentally. But anyways, Paranormal Soup Sunday night, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be there. And looks like it'll be an interesting one. The guy last week was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had an awesome vibe too.
He did. So cool. Maybe
It looks like Bruce
there you go.
Solheim.
Solheim.
Yeah.
Probably butchering his name. But yeah, cool. We might have a couple of more guests lined up in the near future as well. So there you go. There you have it. We're out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love y'all. See you next Sunday. And then again next Wednesday for another Weird Wednesday. Good night. Sleep tight.